This is Keith from Cruachan, and you're listening to the Brutally Delicious podcast.
One, two, three, four. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast. The Brutally Delicious Podcast.
Heath,
Hey, Bruce.
how are you, my friend?
Not too bad. How's things?
Not bad at all. Good to see you.
Good to see you, man.
I'm getting prepped for the cruise here at the end of the week.
Yeah, I'm so fucking jealous. Jesus. I kept checking. Oh my God. Like, I know Andy and what's the other guy, and I sent them like the last kind of fucking hustle in the summer. I said, look, this is the last hustle. Yeah, I know we played last time, but if you want to have like the house band, the Irish pub band at the
on that deck there.
Well, we played in the kind of the English pub the last time, and it was voted like one of the top 10 gigs of the whole fucking cruise. Like, it was, the whole promenade thing was rammed, and I thought that'd be a cool thing. Like, not have Cruachan play live, but have us as the house band every night. We'll do the Irish pub. So that was my last hustle. Still haven't heard anything. Still refreshing the emails, but we'll do it next year.
It looks like they still have like 9 or 10 bands to go yet, so maybe there's hope.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably just too short notice now.
Yeah.
I couldn't arrange it.
Right?
Yeah, and they do that. I know when Erebaltar played the same year we played, the lads from Erebaltar got them the notification a week before sailing.
Really?
And they're like, Keith, what do we do? Like, what do we need visas? And luckily, I was there to actually help with these questions, just to help expedite their whole fucking thing. But they got there in the end and had a great time.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And especially after so many years, it's gonna be nice to chill with the metal family anyway.
Oh man, it's just the best experience, isn't it? 70,000 tons. It really fucking is.
I agree. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I appreciate it. Let's talk about Cruachan.
Let's do it.
So The Living and the Dead is done and ready for release. How do you feel about it now, and are you satisfied with the outcome?
Oh man, I'm so happy. Like, it couldn't have went any better. Like, Cruachan is always just chaos and tumultuous things happening that a lot of the fans don't see in the background. And I'm always like, so many balls in the air trying to make things happen. So, I mean, COVID came along and affected everybody, but it was also at the same time, we went through big lineup changes and you name it. So to get the album where it is today, sounding as good as it sounds, as fresh, as strong, it's unique. Like, it's not like every Cruachan album is always different to the one that came before, but this is just, for me, I am so happy. Like, I could not be happier. I've checked all the boxes I wanted to do. I've got the classical music stuff in there. Folk music is prevalent and as strong as ever. The metal stuff is there. The only thing I'm a bit not weirded out by, I remember listening to the album recently and just thinking, Jesus, not many blast beats on this album. and like, it wasn't like some conscious decision, like we're going to have a lot less extremity. It's just the way it worked out.
Right.
But apart from that, I love it. I'm so proud of it. I think it's our best album to date. And I know that's such a cliche, but I really believe that, heart and soul.
How much time do you spend thinking about and actually writing or not writing the previous record? Or, does that make sense? Or being different from the last one while still staying true to your brand?
It's a tough one. I always think about this. And for years, when a new album comes out, I always think, how can I possibly do better? How can I beat what I've just done? And I've thought that way back to the Middle Kingdom in 1999, Folklore in 2000. I thought, man, I'll never be able to do better. So when it comes to writing, there is no writing process. Somebody asked me recently, I've been doing a lot of press for the new album. Can't remember who it was. And it's the usual question, like, what's the process? How does it start? And I said, like, there is no process. No, they said, when did you begin writing The Living and the Dead? And I said, the actual real answer is I began writing that 31 years ago, because there's the riff in The Crow, there's a thrash metal riff in the middle of The Crow that I've had for 30 plus years, thinking I must get that onto an album, into a new song. And then I forget about it for like 15 years. And then I remember, like, oh yeah, that cool. It's not an amazing riff at all. It's just like, it's a it's a little thrash metal riff. And there we are. It's on that new album, 31 years in the making. Normally I just brain dump ideas onto my phone and just date them, say when I had that idea. I'll pick up a lot of stuff comes from a shitty acoustic guitar that I have. I'll come up with melodies on that. It's almost like a database then of riffs and melodies, ideas, brain dumps, basically. And then when I get into writing mode, I sometimes go through my phone, and then I've got the laptop out, the keyboard, and I start exploring and working on it from then.
31 years. Imagine you still be doing this or making anything that was even, relevant at this point.
I mean, let's be honest, right? When 31 years ago, I was 15. No, it wasn't. Am I being too generous there? I was a young teen.
Right.
Of course I did. Of course I was. I wrote Two in the Gale when I was 15 years old. And at 15, of course I thought I'd be doing this. At 25, no. When I was in my mid-20s, when the band broke up for a year, I was like, nah, Jesus Christ, I need to get a job and take... Because the band did officially split in 1997. We broke up for a year officially and then got back together. I really missed it. And... yeah, no, it's mad, but I wouldn't have it any other way. And even with the changes in lineup and just the stuff that we went through years ago when record labels were falling apart, we once recorded an album that cost €20,000. The record label went bankrupt. We couldn't pay the studio. Like, it's a ridiculous sum when we look back. Then I had the studio threatening to take me to court, and the same thing happened on the very next album. The very next album was Pagan, and Hammerheart Records got it and said, this sound quality is shit, we're not paying this, it's not worth 20 grand or whatever it was. Again, threats from the studio to go to court. Like, I've had such crazy experiences that a lot of people probably would have said, look, you have a family, you have a mortgage, you have a white collar tech job,
right?
Focus on that, man. Forget the band. But I just love it too much. I love everything about the band. I love playing live, writing music, the buzz when you meet fans, and like, I'm just a regular down to earth person. There's no them or us around. It's just like a regular person. So when I see someone wearing my shirt or singing my songs at a gig, I think it's a privilege and an honor. I just love it. It's amazing.
Plus, I imagine you've gotten I know I've talked to you about your trip in Russia at one time, but I imagine you've gotten to see like a lot of the world, just playing music, which is really cool too, right?
Absolutely. Like, yeah, we have had insane experiences. And that whole Russia adventure that we lived
years ago. Yeah.
But not even that one thing that happened when our train was stolen by Russian bandits. That was one event on one of our trips. We were there 10 years in a row. No other Irish band, and I'm talking U2, fucking Tin Lizzy, no other Irish band did what we did, a regular touring band in Russia. And the stuff that we went through, the shit, like, brought to a communist commune and told we can't speak English here. Like, what? It was just insane. And it's so sad to see what Russia has become. And look, I don't want to get into it too much, but there's some great Russian people there. But like, we made a public statement that we'll stop shipping merchandise to Russia because of what they did to Ukraine. That, right. So we absolutely stand by Ukraine. And it's heartbreaking for us because of the history, respect, how well we were treated in Russia, and almost the fame that we had. Like, I tell you, Bruce, we would have security guards with us. We had paparazzi follow us around. I swear on my kids' lives, we had like photographers. We once went to this, like, Michael Jackson level. We once went to a shop and they moved everybody outside and pulled down the shutters so we could go and get some like sodas and beers in the shop.
That's funny.
And that's back when before we made the kind of the break that we are now at the Blood Trilogy. This is before these albums. We were like fucking celebrities over there and completely unknown. And it's mad. We had some insane adventures there.
So yeah, so this far along, then 31 years, it's amazing. You probably got a book's worth of stuff to do if you ever decide to do that.
Yeah, and that's like, I remember 20 years ago saying, geez, I should write a book about what I've been through and, add the last 20 years on top of that. Even like things in South, like, even hilarious stories. We played Sao Paulo once, and there was a big meet and greet was arranged, and I don't know what the issue was, but when we went to the meet and greet, there was a hall Our seats are there. There's some nice velvet lines, the ropes for people to queue beside. One person showed up
Really?
to the meeting. One person.
So don't take this the wrong way. Was it like Spinal Tap?
It was just, I remember just feeling so embarrassed. I just couldn't make eye contact with people. I was like, please, world, just swallow me up right now. This is so embarrassing. Like, if there was 5 people, it would have been, I could, the fact that there was just one, oh my God.
But then the dichotomy of, like you just said, your paparazzi following you in Russia, and then and that's really crazy stuff.
That's it. Yeah, you take the good with the bad. But I mean, that was a small little tour of South America, which was amazing. But the show in Sao Paulo was fantastic.
I mean, they have rabid fans down there, right? They're rabid metal fans.
Yeah, geez, when we went to, I tell you, Santiago in Chile was out of this world. Now, the show wasn't advertised great. There wasn't a huge turnout for us, but just walking along the streets and just every second person is wearing a Metallica, an Iron Maiden shirt. It's like the metalheads outnumber just the regular Joes there. It's a crazy,
I've never been to
place.
South America, but I've seen, I've talked to people numerous times, and they always say, hey, the crowds turn out down there, and they're very supportive. Oh, yeah, Brazil and Argentina was great. But now apparently just the promotion in Chile was a disaster, so it wasn't a very fun... The gig was fantastic, but it's just... You travel all that way, you want fucking thousands of people there. So when that doesn't happen, I'm like, oh, okay. But no, Argentina, Brazil, perfect. So let me ask you a question. I'm totally off script here and out of my question line. But when you're playing a show, is it different for you, or do you approach a show differently when it's whacking or Wacken, or however you want to pronounce it, as opposed to the 5 people we were just talking about? Or is a show a show? You have to do no, for us personally, no, we see no difference. And for me personally, when I got on stage, I'm probably focusing on the few hundred people in my line of sight. Like, so we played Hellfest, and you look up from those 100 people, you just see it's just grey. You can't make out any faces. So few hundred people in a club show at Hellfest or whatever the fuck, it is the same performance. Now, we've had some crazy moments. Like, okay, now Santiago was fine. There was a few hundred people there. It was okay. We've had shows on European tours, like in Italy, where there was 10 people. 10 people in a hall that could maybe hold 1,000. So does that make it difficult to go out, or it fucking does? I feel stupid. I'm like, how has this happened? Now, every time there's a reason, the tickets didn't sell. It's a big festival. There's bigger bands than us, but they didn't draw the crowd. We're a smaller band. Not our fault. But it's fucking horrible. Just like, and those 10 people have paid. They're like... Right, at the end of the day, that's their money. They worked for that, right? Yeah. So you have to put on the show, man. You have to just fucking treat it as any gig. And sometimes like that, a band like us, when we have those moments, luckily there's been very few of those happen. But when they do, you fucking embrace it. I was jumping down, just walking, the wireless guitar system, just like, hey man, how are you? Thanks for coming. Nice shirt. And they love it. Yeah, you have to just have a laugh and really go with it. I mean, there would be a lot of bands that would probably just turn around and point blank say, I'm not playing. Or they just go through the motions on stage and stand there embarrassed. Fuck it. Just, Well, like I was saying, those people paid their money, though, and, it's not their fault that their friends didn't show up. So I guess they want the show. You got to give them the show. Yeah, 100%. And they're going to buy merch or whatever, so it's at least gas to the next venue. Well, there you go. yeah. Maybe. I don't know what gas costs over there, but beer money. Yeah, beer money. Now that the record's done, are you going to do the new music business model of like a single every 4 to 6 weeks, or you just a couple here and then the album? That's exactly what we're doing. So this is new to us. Despots Records are fantastic. Like, they're the biggest pretty much rock indie label in Sweden. They've got like Swedish household names, that are just fucking superstars, and they have this great model of exactly that. Promotion is second to none. So I'm not saying anything bad about a previous label, Trollzorn, but they were very focused just in Central Europe, mainly Germany, Austria. Everything else was, the promotion was really up to us. Now we're back with the likes of the Candlelight Records, the Hammerheart Records that we had in the past. Despots are very similar the way they work, which is things like I've just interviews lined up that I haven't had that in a number of years. It's me that had to go looking for interviews. So that's exactly what they're doing. This is new to us.
making videos is a big thing for us. We did 1, 2 maybe in our history. Now we're doing like 3 in the space of a few months, which is a nightmare. But it has to be done. It has to be done,
especially in this culture. Yeah.
Oh, it's just painful. Like like I'm not gonna. Hey, videos are great when they're done. Like I'm really happy with the way the Crow turned out. I think it's got a cool vibe. I hate it. Like I'm the producer. I have to get these people. I have to put the people in the room.
Oh, you're doing it?
Yeah.
So I saw something online. You guys are doing. Is that training in? Forgive me, I don't know the actual terminology, but is that training in sword fighting?
Yes. Yeah, that's cool. So that's the video shoot we've got coming up this weekend. Again, it's a big production. We've got like the best reenactment guys in Ireland, and they're training us. So when we do the sword fighting in the video, it will look just a bit more authentic.
In, right?
Absolutely. Because when we did the Battle for the Yellow Ford on the last album, that was a small production, and it just doesn't look great. I hate that video. So I'm like, I can't have that happen again. I don't want a stupid video. So yeah, I mean, I'm producing because I'm here, right? The record label I don't know what you want, Keith. We couldn't do it. They're paying for it. They're bankrolling everything, but I'm here trying to find like the production crew, the video crew, the people to be in it. And then, then I'm getting messages on Facebook. Are you
scouting locations and doing all that?
No, the production crew are doing that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but I am getting like messages about the Viking troop, like, oh, hot food for the day, and I'm like, oh yeah, humans eat food, and I have to make sure they eat that. So it's like, fuck, it's a nightmare, but it will be worth it, and it's exciting as well. It's great to have that support from a record label that have that. Singles coming out, there's artwork. We've got beautiful artwork for every single that we do. And look, they were the guys that pushed us in 2020. They literally, the head of Despots Records sent me a Facebook message at the start of 2020 or the end of 2020 is going to be Cruachan's year. It's like, fuck, well, we've seen how that went, man.
Yeah. Like, right.
But they, in the middle, they're the ones that pushed us, said, look, we fucking recommend getting a single out. And I'm like, but we haven't recorded an album. You record an album, release a single. I said, they were like, bullshit. Just go, and as soon as the studio's open, get it out there. I was a bit apprehensive, but in the end, it was such a great idea. We got the Hawthorne single out. The interest in Cruachan, boom, was back again. And yeah, now one thing that was 2 years ago. So when we went to record the new album, the Hawthorne just sounded different. Right. Different amps, different musicians. So we actually re-recorded the entire song. The only original thing from the only remaining thing from the original is literally the tempo and the vocals. Everything else was re-recorded. So it's the single will always be the single, and it's great because Mero, the old drummer, he moved with his family to Sweden at the start of COVID. That's why he left the band. But it was his last performance with Cruachan. And I remember thinking, I don't want to take away from that. But then I'm thinking, well, I'm not. That single exists forever out there. And now the album version. Yeah. And Tom, our new drummer, he really wanted to put his stamp on it as well. So it's cool. So yeah, it worked out.
That makes a lot of sense. I do appreciate that you're doing an album, because I think as an old school metalhead, I like the full physical release album, what it is. How much effort goes into sequencing, right? Because that's a whole art in itself that I think is lost in the generation now, right?
What do you mean by sequencing?
Like the songs in order, how you're going to put those.
Oh, God. Oh, man. Yeah.
How they flow and the moods you create and that sort of thing.
Yeah. It's so important, man. And like I thought about it, and there's a few songs that flow into each other. It's not necessarily a concept album that was like the previous one, but there's one song, I think it's called The Ghost, and the next song is The Crow, and the last lyric of The Ghost is, on the shortest branch I see a crow, and then the crow starts, the crow to sit on the shortest branch. There's a little bit of linkage like that, and I just put them the way I wanted to, and then we came to the vinyl production. And it's a fucking big production. Like, it's a beautiful, beautiful vinyl. So it's 2 discs, it's 4 sides, and then I could have hit a major problem. They're like, okay, Keith, what way is this going to work on vinyl? It's like, oh fuck! And just coincidentally, it worked out. 3. The 12 songs fit 3 songs on each side. I can't believe my luck, because on side A has the Queen, the longest song on the album. It's about 7 minutes, but the instrumental, the very first track, is like 2 minutes. So it's just work. I can't believe my luck that it actually worked out, because it is, as I say, sequenced, that they do tell a bit of a story, and the flow. You'll hear the flow when you hear the actual album,
and that's important, right? Because that's something I think that's missing in today's generation. When you get one single and you don't really get the flow or the feel or the vibe of the record.
And just remember when I say this, right? When you do listen to it from start to finish, just the first track is The Living, and you'll hear why. You're going to go on the journey. It's about 55 minutes. Then you get to The Dead. And I think when you hear The Dead, I hate that, The Dead, it's very hard to pronounce. When you get to The Dead, it just makes sense. So just remember, it is what it is. You'll hear it and you'll be like, oh, okay, I get it. Nice. But I'm not going to say anymore. Just listen out for that. The last track on the album is there for a reason.
Okay. And
it has certain emotions.
Yeah, that's what that was my point exactly. Then the whole putting them in a way, in an order that does that.
Yeah,
that's missing in a lot of the generation. You know, my son's age, they just want to download a song and move on.
Exactly. Yeah,
I think it's a lot of the artistry. Sorry,
man. I went for a jog this morning and I listen to Spotify all the time, but I don't pay for it. I'd rather have the real thing. So I stuck on an album, and it's just randomly playing shit out of. And I can hear the feedback of whatever Slayer. I just listened to Slayer Hell Awaits, and the feedback from it was Rain and Blood, of course, the classic. The feedback was running in, and then it's cut into something from fucking like 2010. It's like,
right.
And like, for, as you said, for this generation, that's normal. Hell, man.
Yeah, my son doesn't get it. I've tried to teach him 100 times. You know, sit and appreciate it the way it was put together. But
yeah,
give me the one song and let me move on.
Oh man, yeah, Jesus, youth of today.
So what's going on with Cruachan? You guys taking it on the road?
Yeah, well, that's the plan. We've been struggling to get festivals, because I'm still finding throughout 2022, a lot of festivals are just finally having their first edition since COVID. And I've been speaking to them, and they're like, well, the lineup we've carried over, cancelled. It's the lineup from 2 years ago. Yeah, it's happening in 2022, but the lineup has been full for 2 fucking years.
Right.
So we're really struggling. We've got some really nice festivals, and we're discussing a few bits. We've got Carnuna's Pagan Fest next month, HRH Vikings in the UK. We'll probably do a few small. We've got the Siege of Limerick in Ireland, which is a big Irish festival. We'll have an Irish Day. We'll have a few club shows around Europe that we need to plan. But there's no big festival as yet for this year, which is kind of frustrating, because we've been on the festival circuit for nearly 10 years. Yeah. So we need to get that sorted.
I know I said that was my last question, but you just kind of mentioned it. You guys just finished up at Heaven and Hell, right? Or Hell and
Hell and Heaven.
What was that like?
Oh man. So have you heard any of the kind of the bad stories from there?
No.
Oh man, you should check Blabbermouth. It's like, it's very interesting. A lot of bands had a lot of bad experiences. All I can talk about is our experience, and we had a fucking great time. The organization left. Oh, I don't want to say I'm bad. The guys we work with, beautiful. We were put up in a 4-star hotel. We had our own rooms. Our fee got it before we left Ireland. Flights, everything was paid for. It's really hard to criticize. They did have some issues with transportation and organizational stuff, and that's what you'll see on Blabbermouth. Now, there was a few bands, just for whatever reason, things just went to shit for them, and you'll see their Facebook rants, how they were fucked over. This. Oh my God, it's unreal. We struggled with just a shuttle bus to get us to and from the hotel.
Right.
The night we arrived, we went to check out some bands. No, the night we played, we seen there was issues with the shuttle bus, so we arranged it much better than any other band. We got our bus, we went back. The one organizational thing we seen was the shuttle bus to take us to the airport didn't show up. But because I heard third hand, this shit's going down. I work in business continuity, resiliency. That's what I do for a living. Mm-hmm. So straight away, I booked 2 taxis that morning to come at the kind of last possible moment. If the bus doesn't turn up, our bus didn't show. The taxi did. We went to the airport.
So you just got along.
Yeah. Like, Jesus Christ, things go wrong, and I think that's one of the biggest, most impressive festival lineups I've ever seen in my life. I don't think I'll ever see a better looking festival lineup.
Right.
Cruachan were part of it. when you put on that kind of show, there will be fucking things that go wrong. Take it upon yourself. Don't be the band that just sits back fucking with grapes being fed, waiting on your manager or somebody to do fucking everything for you. Show a bit of interest. Check if things are going right. If things are going wrong, do something about it yourself. Don't expect somebody else that you've never met in your life to actually give a shit about you. And I don't, again, no disrespect to hell and heaven, but that's just the nature of humanity. Like, take care of yourself because things go fucking wrong, man.
Yeah, things happen. And contingency plans are the way.
Yeah, it helps to be a fucking operational resiliency guy.
Yeah. Well, that's all I had, Keith. Did I miss anything you want to talk about? I know you guys got a bunch of merch and pre-orders. We can head over to, it's Despot Records, right?
Yeah. So we're doing a cool bunch of merch and different packages. One cool thing, Despot's bought the rights to our back catalogue with Hammerheart Records, the classic Cruachan albums. So I own the rights to Two in the Gale. I made my own vinyl release of that, and it sold 500. Once that's gone, it's gone. I'm very proud that that's out there. Despots have bought the Middle Kingdom, Folklore, and the Pagan albums. So they're going to get a big CD re-release, vinyl release for the first time, T-shirts, merch, you name it. So that's all coming down the road. And I cannot wait because people have been screaming at me at concerts and emails and Facebook Messenger, like, I want a physical copy of these albums, like especially the one with Shane MacGowan. Shane MacGowan's such an Irish legend. People want the Folklore album that he sang 2 songs on. You physically can't buy it unless you go to eBay or Discogs and pay ridiculous prices. So they are coming. They'll be on the Despots Records website, along with the beautiful artwork on that new album. We have T-shirts, backpatches, all the beautiful merch. Yeah.
So things are looking up for Cruachan in 2023. That's good. I'm glad for you, man.
Yeah. Cheers, Bruce. Thanks so much.
Hey, man, I'll have a beer for you in the Irish pub on the main promenade.
Oh, no. Oh, fuck, I hope you fucking choke on it, Bruce.
Be well, my friend.
Cheers, mate.
I'll talk to you soon. Bye now.
Bye.
Hello out there.
Yes, hello out there, everyone. I'm Hal Schwartz.
And I'm Flynn McLean. Together we host None But the Brave, a podcast dedicated to the music and career of Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce and E Street Band are on tour right now for the first time in 6 years, and we're taking a detailed look at what's happening on stage in our bi-weekly episodes.
We've also been recently joined by some very exciting guests, including rock journalist Warren Zanes and Stephen Hayden, Backstreet's Magazine founder Charles Cross, and Barstool's Kirk Minahan.
If you're a diehard Springsteen fan, this is the show for you.
So please subscribe to None But the Brave on your favorite podcasting platform, and we hope to see you further on up the road.
Thank you so much. We'll be seeing you.